Good afternoon, everyone. And of course, good afternoon as well to our lovely guests, Sophia Ferraris and Megan Bagtas. And welcome to the Upper Line. I'm Waine Llauderes.
I'm Alliyah Banting.
I am Francesca Saliling.
And I'm Janahryk Bucad.
And we are your hosts for today's talk.
In today's talk, our main focus will be the 16th Sustainable Development Goal, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions.
That's right, Francesca. Striving for peace, justice, and strong institutions is no doubt one of the most important aspects in achieving a better society.
As for our guests, today we have Sophia Ferraris and Megan Bagtas to discuss the 16th SDG with. Ms. Sophia Ferraris is an incoming freshman of Bachelor of Arts in International Studies, majoring in European Studies. She is also the former Secretary General of the Animal Model United Nations in the La Salle University Integrated School in Manila.
Ms. Megan Bagtas plans to take up an international relations program in the United States. She also took up the justice course under Harvard X.
So, moving on to our topic for today, peace, justice, and strong institutions pertain to the ambitious elimination of all forms of violence. This can be done through the promotion of peaceful societies and by providing justice for all.
Also, the main reason why this SDG is important is because having compassion and and a strong moral compass is essential to all democratic societies.
Yes, so moving on to our first point to discuss. Miss Sophia and Megan, what is your definition of an ideal society?
Okay, I'd like to start with defining the word ideal first. In dictionary terms, the word ideal corresponds to a perfect or something that is absolute or supreme. But how would I see an effective or an ideal society? I totally agree with what the SDG 16 describes it as to be a sustainable and an inclusive society, meaning it's a society that promotes peaceful communities, that provides access to justice, that builds effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions. And I think with regards to this goal, I think we're very far from achieving it because according to the Social Progress Index, we have declined by 4.17% from 2014 itself. So initially, we're eyeing to achieve this goal by 2030, but then with the current decline, I think we will be able to reach it by 2073.
What about you, Miss Megan? What can you say about an ideal society?
As Sophia said, the definition of ideal is perfect or absolute. And I think it's really hard to put expectations on what an ideal society is because nothing can ever be perfect. There will always be flaws, but those responsible should compromise and think of that what will benefit the greater good. Aside from this, there should also be a clear standard on the principle of justice that govern us. As John Rawls mentioned in A Theory of Justice, an ideal society is a well-ordered society where all accept the same principles of justice, and our basic institutions are regulated by these principles.
Okay, so now let's move on to our President Rodrigo Duterte's administration. So do you think his administration is effective at all before the pandemic? Miss Megan, what do you think about this?
President Duterte made very strong promises when he was running for office. Two of the most notable projects are Build project and his war on drugs. However, he said projects are not that successful. Firstly, many of the infrastructures in his BBB project are inherited from past administrations. For example, the Skyway Stage 3 and the Endless XX Connector Road were both launched by the Aquino administration back in 2013 and 14. And of course, we can't forget his war on drugs, which killed at least 29,000 people, according to the PNP in 2019. This is against our constitution and is a clear human rights violation, especially since these killings were done without due process. And even with due process, capital punishment is not allowed in our country.
So, with all that has been said, is there anything you think that the government can do right now to improve the country's situation? Miss Sophia?
In addition to everything that Megan said, I was really engaged with how the administration conducted the war on drugs because we have seen how not only it violated the basic human rights of people, but on how it also created the gap and a division in society, in the sense that there has been a division between the people, the Filipino people, and the government itself, which is not should be the case, because these two should be working together, right? But then we've seen how the policemen were given that power, and how they abused that power, and how the different sectors of society were separated by this project. So if I could, as a student and as a youth advocate, if I could ask for a call to action to the current administration, I guess it would be really to conduct projects that would really honor the rights of every people, because we should do that not only because we're a signatory of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, but because we are people, and every people deserves to be treated right. Every people deserves to have that human rights. And in addition to that, I would like to call upon them to actually be accountable of their actions, regardless if it was successful or not, including the promises they have made even before they were elected.
So now, moving on to the present, now that we are under the wrath of the COVID-19 pandemic, do you think that Duterte steps were anyway effective at all, especially in promoting the health of our fellow Filipinos and supporting our medical frontliners? Aside from this, there are many issues regarding the injustices present in receiving healthcare services and the compensation for our medical frontliners who are sacrificing their lives every day in helping us to survive this pandemic. Ms. Megan?
I think he started off really late, opting not to impose a travel ban, which could have helped control the rise of cases in the beginning. The administration does not have a concrete plan. They switch between ECQ, MECQ, and all the other community quarantine names that they have, and that's all they do. Vaccine rollouts are still slow because they don't have enough manpower, hospitals are full, equipment are lacking, and doctors and nurses are overworked yet underpaid. But the DOH somehow has 67.3 billion pesos of underutilized funds, and the administration makes excuses for this and just brushes it under the rug.
Yeah, so how about you, Ms. Sophia? Do you agree with that?
So we all know that it's not only the Philippines, but the whole world is facing an unprecedented crisis that is not something that we have not seen for over a century. So this problem requires a response that is far-reaching for both the economic, social, and political aspects. And the priority of at this time is to really save lives. But then connecting it to SDG 16, guaranteeing human rights for everyone is really a challenge, because this public health crisis is fast becoming an economic and social crisis, and a protection and human rights crisis rolled into one. So I would like to highlight the Bayanihan Law, which was created to protect and support Filipinos from various sectors, especially the frontliners. In addition, it also gave the president extensive power to pursue concrete plans and actions in response to the pandemic. It's actually really good. Like, that project is really good, but I believe that it was not able to maximize the objectives that it has fully mandated. Aside from the budget, there's a lot of changes that has happened since the enactment of the law. But then logistics wise, we can see that testing sites are not that effective. Vaccine procedures are being rolled out slowly. So I think the administration could improve on that in ensuring that healthcare would really be accessible to every Filipino, especially during these times.
Okay, so interesting take on that. So before we put our talk to a close, I would like to just share a quote made by the United Nations chief at the Human Rights Council. He said that human rights are our bloodline. This is because without human rights, being our so-called bloodline, we would not have a basis for an ideal society and living. Through the proper implementation of our human rights, we would be able to strive for better freedom, gender equality, and of course, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And that concludes our talk show for today. We really hope that the audience learned a lot from today's talk.
That's right, Waine. And of course, today's talk show would not be possible if it was not for our guests Sophia Ferraris and Megan Bagtas.
Thank you very much, Sophia and Megan, for attending our talk show today.
And to our audience, thank you as well for watching. Once again, I am Janahryk Bucad.
I am Francesca Saliling.
I'm Alliyah Banting.
I am Waine Llauderes, and this has been The Upper Line, now signing off.